All right, joining us now on Drive the Lane, fresh off a big win in terms of size over Bowling Green, Kyle Young. Kyle, welcome back to the show.
Appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Kyle, it's always a blast having you on. We'll talk briefly about Bowling Green because who really cares about Bowling Green, to be honest? I know you can't say that, but we'll say it. How was it to get one of those victories? And you know what I mean, like an early season victory. Everybody plays, everybody scores, not a ton of pressure. How'd that feel?
It felt good. I think that was, important for us. We've had a few tough games here recently. But, anytime you play, an in-state school, with Akron, they're giving us our best shot. They're a great team too. So they're gonna do well in the MAC. And, we expected that with BG as well. I think we came out more ready. We threw that first punch, how we say it, we set the rules. So that was big for us, spread out scoring, just a lot of guys contributing offensively and defensively. And I think our defense stepped up a little bit tonight too. So that's good just for our confidence, on both ends of the floor.
So you've been around for a little while now.
Yeah.
We were talking a little bit before we started recording, but are you getting sick of Columbus or Ohio State basketball, or are you going to try and stretch this into even maybe another year next year?
I'm not getting sick of Columbus or Ohio State basketball, but there will not be another year. I can tell you that right now. It's just, it's been super enjoyable being here, just being able to play in front of the fans. Even, that first game I came back, checking into the game, just kind of hearing the standing ovation, it meant a lot to me, hit me in the heart a little bit. That was one of the main reasons I decided to come back was Buckeye Nation. So definitely meant a lot to me.
Where does that moment rank for you coming back? Obviously, you've been a guy who's been banged up. You've played through injuries. You've had to sit out because of injuries. And obviously, this was a little bit of a different sitting out, but it delayed the start to a season that you really was a hard decision to come back. Where does that moment rank in terms of not only checking in and getting the standing ovation, but the and one dunk right after?
It's pretty high on the list, if not 1, 2, but it was just, I think it just worked out perfectly, like you said, this being my last year, having to sit out right at the beginning was frustrating, but, I always try to stay positive. I got good people around me, good teammates, good coaches, good family, keeping my hopes up. So being able to check back in and then have a play like that happen was just not something that I expected to happen, but Jamar threw a great pass and I just had to go catch it. So that definitely is pretty high on my list.
So it's been an interesting start to the season. As Joey mentioned, that was an awesome moment. You checking in for the first time this year. Moving forward, you're going to play a game next at Xavier. Joey and I saw some Xavier fans this summer with TBT. They are rowdy. They are crazy. After last season, though, are you excited for some road fans?
100%. When we scheduled that game, we kind of already knew what kind of environment it was going to be. I was talking about the in-state schools, but it's just going to be even more, especially playing at their place, like Ohio State, Xavier. Ohio State doesn't get to go play there pretty much ever. It's a very unique opportunity. So it's been sold out for a while. I know their fans are going to come ready. I hope we have some fans there that are going to be rowdy as well. So we're excited. Like you said, there's no fans last year. It'll be good to kind of get some of that back, even if it's not good things being said to us.
One thing that I think about, I'll be there, of course, Kyle. I missed the night, but it's just one of those nights. But I'll be there. One thing I'm excited about is comparing it to Cincinnati. Obviously, that was your sophomore year where we opened up. What do you think? You grew up an Ohio guy. Did you have any Xavier or Cincinnati bias at all in any way? How can we get the rivalry going even more here? What do you think?
I was recruited by Xavier for a while. So I obviously looked there. They were one of the schools I was looking at pretty heavily in the recruiting process. So it's just interesting to see how, things play around, and I'm excited to get back there and play. Like I haven't been there in a while, so it'll be interesting just to see the type of hype they bring. Like you said, Cincinnati that environment was crazy, and I know it's just going to be the same thing for Xavier. So
you got some wild environments coming up. So you got the Xavier game, and then you got the Seton Hall tournament. Not exactly sure who the second opponent in that will be, and then you got Duke at home. So talk about a crazy environment right there. You think Buckeye Nation, the Nut House, could step up and rattle Duke a little bit?
So just hearing what I'm hearing from, outside people and everything, I think the environment at the Shot could top when Michigan came and played us at home. We had the Scarlet out at the Shot. So if it can top that, that's going to be pretty incredible, because that environment was unlike anything I've ever seen before.
Well, if it's anything like Michigan, you should probably bring an extra jersey to that.
I'm still hearing stuff about that to this day. Yeah.
Holt brought it up on our interview when we talked to him a couple weeks ago. He's like, that's like a pivotal moment in his, Ohio State tenure. It's true. I think, and Kyle, I've seen a lot of Ohio State basketball. My whole life revolved around Ohio State basketball. And I think that that's going to be, and not to skip over Xavier and Seton Hall and all those other games.
Yeah, no.
We're not doing that. But just while we're on the topic, I think that's going to be the biggest game in Columbus, Ohio, basketball-wise, in the last 10, 15 years. Seriously.
Since the last time they played Duke in Columbus.
Literally.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Kyle, do you want to know why it's really going to be the craziest game in Columbus?
Because you're going to be there? Is that why? Because
I'm going to be there. I haven't been there since the Stetson game. And if it's anything like Stetson, then we know what the result will be. So I'm a good luck charm.
You do got a ticket though? Coach came through?
Well, I've been told that I will be getting a ticket. I do not have a physical ticket yet.
Okay.
I mean, from everything I've heard from Joey and everyone we have on the show, Coach comes through. When he makes a promise, he delivers.
100%.
You saw the video on Twitter, Kyle?
Yeah, I happened to scroll by that. It was funny. Yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, no, he'll be there. I hope so. I will. So I texted Eagle and I said, hey, I'm just getting ahead of this. Like, I would like to go to the Duke game. I just made sure that he knew that. And then Holt came and said, Andrew, we got you covered. So I think we're good. Yeah. But let's not. Well, we can move past the future schedule. Kyle, you're old. You get it. Like, you're not looking ahead at Xavier. I get it. But let's talk about the team a little bit before we let you go. New guys, old guys, regardless, it's a new team. It's a young team in the sense that the team has never played together. Well, obviously things are coming together a little bit more because you guys played well tonight. What are the messages that the coaches are preaching in terms of the cohesiveness, all that good stuff that just comes with time? It can't be just like poof, fixed.
Yeah, like, just from being around, it's a day-by-day thing. They preach one day at a time. We're only going to be able to build, 1% every day. And, with the new guys, not only the younger guys, but the older guys, we're still building that connectedness, whether that's offensively, defensively, just being out on the court together. And I think game by game, it's shown that, it's improving, but just being able to get those younger guys along and have them learn quickly as the season's going on has been huge for us. It's nice having an older group because of the experience, that plays into a lot of it. But the main things, we've been preaching is I talked about this a few times, is just like the defensive side of things for us. Our defense needs to continue to step up, continue to improve, because I think that'll be the difference maker moving forward with how successful we're going to be this season. We've had pretty good offense. Last year we were even, we had a pretty good offense, but our defense was ranked pretty low. So that's been something even in the off season until now we're still continue to focus on and get better.
I'm curious what practice has been like, because, and Joey, you can tell me if I'm wrong on this, but I don't remember a team that has this many guys that like could be starters, could play the same amount of minutes. Like, I feel like you guys could be going 5-on-5 in practice, and it could be pretty pretty even. So I'm curious what practice has been like with this new team.
Yeah, practice has been good, and I've actually mentioned that even to coaches a few times. I just feel like it's been super competitive, and you love to see that, especially just with like early on, like preseason leading up to the season. Like you know you're gonna have competitive practices, but when you really getting at it and like trying to make each other better, that's when you start to see results. So practice has been good. We're still hitting it hard, and we're just trying to get better every day. So there's not too much relaxing. We still want to take care of our bodies, which we're being smart about that because we're an older group. But yeah, practices are definitely pretty competitive. We got a lot of guys that can play.
One guy that you mentioned competitive, the first guy that comes to my mind is Jamar Wheeler, and I'm obsessed with him, like in the most positive way possible, because as you know, I hated his guts for so long. Like, I mean, hated him. And now I could not love him more, especially like a
Yeah,
night like tonight. Like I was telling
yeah.
Andrew, we talked about it already on the show. Like he didn't fill up the box score. Like he didn't have 20 and 10. He didn't have 15 steals. Like, but he was just unbelievable. Like, can you talk
Mhm.
about what he brings to the team, especially in practice? I mean, Holt, Pito, everyone's told me about that. But what does he bring to this team that is like beyond the box score?
He's a difference maker. That's all I can say, just because I noticed it very early on in practice. I mean, we knew what we were getting, when he signed to come here, what type of player he was. But early on in practice, I really noticed it when he was picking up full court, like just playing super hard. And I was like, oh, yeah, this is going to help us a lot. And now in the games, we've been seeing it. Like you said, he might not be filling up the stat sheet, but like he's improved his shot incredibly. Like he can shoot the ball. Which, I mean, we saw glimpses of that last year against us. Like he hit three on us early on. But like just his effort and like his motor to be able to, continuously just change the game throughout the course of the game, whether that's defense or just handling the ball, getting action started. But his defense has been probably the main thing for me that I've noticed. He helps kind of lead the way.
How fun is it having Gio back around the team?
Oh, I love Gio. That's my guy. I've known him for a while now, and it's just good having his spirits around. Somebody has so much experience and has been through what he's been through, and it's just great to have him in the locker room with us.
Last question I have for you, only because we haven't touched on it. We think you guys have arguably the best front court, not only in the Big Ten, but in all of college hoops, just because of how deep you guys are. I mean, you've got you and Joey Brunk coming off the bench, fifth-year guys who could start on any team in the Big Ten. And then you've got arguably the best guy, big guy in the Big Ten, EJ Liddell, and then Zed Key, who's coming into his own.
Mhm.
I mean, you don't have to talk about Joey and Zed. We've talked about him enough, but EJ, he's the player of the year in the Big Ten so far. Like what does that mean? Like, he's just incredible. I mean, he's gotten better.
Yeah,
It's unbelievable.
that was literally what I was gonna say. He's just incredible, to be honest. He continues to show like how his game has expanded this offseason. I mean, he was incredible for us last year, but I think he's even been able to take steps just defensively with how he's played, as well as expanding his game more to the perimeter offensively. And he's going to be a huge piece for us this season. With how well he's playing. We're going to need him to keep performing the way he is, and he's a critical piece to this team.
Kyle, I have some Canton, Ohio questions that I've never asked you. Can I ask you?
Yeah, for sure.
So my dad's from Canton. I have tons of family there, grandparents, everything. I've been there a million times. So I should have asked you these last time we talked, but I'm
Mhm.
gonna ask you now. Do you
Okay.
like pizza oven pizza?
Oh wow, yeah. So pizza oven, definitely one of my fave spots. But have you ever had Krause's?
I have not.
See, that's the spot I tell people all the time. If you haven't had Krause's, you got to get Krause's.
So my dad is like obsessed with pizza oven, so he
Okay.
doesn't really let us get anything, besides it. Like
Yeah.
literally, I went to meet him in Cleveland for a Browns game. I flew in, he had driven in, and he had picked up pizza oven and brought it to the Browns game, and that's what we had at our tailgate was pizza oven.
It's a great place.
Two more questions. One, how good is Taggart's?
I'm gonna be honest. I don't think I've had
The ice
Tigers.
cream place.
What?
The ice cream place.
I know it's an ice cream place. I don't think I've ever had it. I'm gonna be honest.
Okay, well, you're missing out. Once you're done, working on that new body, you should let yourself cheat a little and get a Bittner. And last question, how many times have you been to the Hall of Fame?
A few. I've been around it a lot, all the parades, stuff like that. I've tried to stay a little bit away from it because, I'm there all the time. It's more of like a once a year type thing. Once everybody's in town, you kind of celebrate it.
Kyle, I'm overdue for a tour of Canton from you. So
I know. I'm telling you, as soon as the season's over, we can make a weekend out of it.
All right, perfect. Kyle,
Joey, we can stay at my bubby's.
perfect. Kyle, do you know what a bubby is?
Nah.
It's a Jewish grandmother.
Okay. I probably could have guessed that. It was, some context clues.
Yeah. You could guess that. Oh, unreal. All right, KY, any questions for us before we let you go? That's what we do. You had one for Andrew, so I could let you off the hook in theory because we answered it already. But if you got another one, feel free.
That's it for me today, fellas. I don't got nothing to ask y'all.
Fair enough. Fresh off a hard-fought victory for Kyle. We appreciate you as always. Pleasure having you on, and I'll see you Thursday.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'll see you at the Duke game.
For sure. I'm excited to see you guys.
See you, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.